Yeah. So coming to the Citrix, what are the editions we have is editions will define what are the features we have and what is the cost also for that edition of the version which you have chosen. So mostly like even in the cars also we'll have like same model, we have the different models like a premium kind of features would be there, like top end model would be there. Like this, even in the Citrix also, we have the different editions of that we have. So mostly we are going to divide them into either virtual apps level or virtual apps and desktops included also we can get it. Then in that we have standard, advanced and premium we have. Mostly we are going to choose premium for the large scale enterprises where we want more IT automation kind of tools and more features is required. Okay, all the complete set of functionality is going to work and it is having both apps and desktop features, security, large scale deployments, all these we are getting. And even maintenance support also is included. And mostly like a app layering kind of thing also they're going to add. Okay, with the premium, they're going to add like a session recording, application security, more analytics kind of reports. All these we are getting with the premium. Whenever you are evaluating the products, also try to install like those kind of premium features itself. Try to choose. Okay, so then coming to the like a version, which version you want to choose? Say here we have two things. Okay, one is like a LTSR version and current release. Mostly whenever you want to evaluate the new features, better to go for the current release. But on the production, most of the customers are prefer to choose LTSR version. Okay. So, but with the current version, what is the problem is there would be more frequent releases from the Citrix that includes the new features, new innovations, but they may be not stable also. That's the reason they would be getting lot of fixes and the new functionalities would be keep on adding. Okay, so that is the reason it's not recommended to go for current releases for the production environments. Better to go for the LTSR versions. So LTSR versions are the stable releases and prioritize the like a stability and we don't get more frequent changes, new features and predictable like a before itself they'll give whenever they're going to get the updates, cumulative packs, all those also we are getting. Okay, so that is the reason like it's recommended to use LTSR versions. Okay, so where we have operation wise more overhead is there. Operational wise overhead is more with the current releases, but with the LTSR it's managed one. Okay, so then for the production business critical applications, it's recommended to go for LTSR. Okay, so if we want to do any POCs in that moment, better to go for the current release kind of things. Okay, so then the license server license server grace period is for 30 days. Okay, so here in the license server we have the grace period is 30 days we have, and in that grace period like a like a even if the license server goes down, okay, so then that license server is going to like enter into grace period mode. So suppose every controller is keep on checking for the license server, and if the license server like goes down, okay, then the controller will enter into the grace period, and for 30 days those apps and desktops can be delivered. Okay, so whenever the controller is not able to contact the license server to check out the licenses, okay, so then that uses the cached license information to allow to that. Okay, so then the number of licenses available during that is based on the number of licenses used in the 30 days. That means infinity kind of users are not possible to account. Say even if the license server goes down also, controller having that 30 days usage, what is the maximum number of licenses we have used? Say try to understand. Say here we have 1,000 licenses we have in my license server. But in the last 30 days, have used only maximum is 800 licenses. Those licenses only can be allocated if my license server, if my license server goes down, only those 800 licenses only is the allocated at that moment. Even if we want those 1,000 licenses, then we need to restore our license server. But one thing with the license server wise is we are getting the license file from mycitrix.com. We can get that license file, but that is binded to host name or DNS name of that license server. That means if I copy the same license file with the other server, okay, it doesn't work. Okay, because Citrix has given that kind of like architecture, it doesn't work if the license server name has been changed. On the same license server, we need to use this file. Okay, but then that's we need to change that license file to this. Then only we can use that. Then what we need to do is we need to change host name. Means in the new host I want to deploy. Then what I need to do is I need to contact my mycitrix.com, submit your existing license file, and they will provide new license file. Okay, that license file we need to upload on the new server. That's then we can reuse that. Okay, and even the license server wise, how that calculation is going to happen is going to calculate the highest number of licenses used in the 30 days. Okay, that licenses we are going to get. And if the license server becomes available within the 30 days, normal license checkout operations are going to happen. Okay, then if the 30 days grace period also expired, we not updated any of the license servers, then we can't deliver the applications. Okay, and coming to that license server port numbers, can you explain me the port numbers? Now here we have the delivery controller to license server. What is the port it is using? Delivery controller or any of the product server to license server, the port, what is the port? Like 27,000. Say 27,000 is that is the port number. Okay, then what is vendor daemon port?
7279.
Yeah, 7279. What is the meaning of 7279? In which scenario that is used? Say license server is going to contact that license file, reading that encryption is going to decrypt. For all these, we are going to use. So for all these, we are going to use that 7279 port. Then we have the license server management port. Say in order to administrate from the browser, we can manage that management console kind of thing. For this, the port is 8082 or 8083. We can allocate anything till 8089. We can allocate in this. If already those ports are in the use, we can allocate other ports also if it is in the use already with other ports. Okay. So please ask me any doubts.
Second, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, for model license, license. For additionally, we come with the few users. There, how can we manage the license giving to additional users in concurrent model?
See here we have the concurrent user and device also. Till in the grace period mode, till that
Okay,
maximum usage is reached, then it's going to work.
okay.
So
Means
whenever it
the
like
yeah,
it
yeah, please.
remember the number of licenses is going to store that cache.
Okay.
So based on that cache, the maximum usage it will accommodate. That means, say, suppose in the last 30 days, even we have 1,000 licenses, we have given
Yeah, yeah.
800 users only is the maximum usage we got in the last 30 days. In the grace period mode, it won't allocate 1,000 licenses. It allocate only for
800.
800
Mm-hmm.
only.
Mm-hmm. So rest additionally, it will manage the 200. It will manage the which
That's
are
if you
there.
want, you need to update your license server.
Okay.
So because that
Okay.
30 days, last 30 days before like a license server down, the last 30 days, how many connections are there, maximum connections, those only supported.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
because the in the license server, like in the controller will have a cache kind of thing that remembers only the number of licenses which are successfully checked out. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but users can log in up to the number of licenses. There is no unlimited kind of things. That 800 is the maximum in our use case.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. So then
Mm.
after license server, we have one more important component is there. Local host
Yeah,
cache.
Shrikant, this is Dilip. Am I audible?
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, the license server, can we share between sites? For example, if you have a production, test, or development.
Yes, it can be shared. We can have the multiple licenses also. We can keep in that license file.
Okay, okay.
So that means we have the different product versions of the licenses also. It can understand. That means I
No,
have
for
As
given
is,
example,
a two license files. It can read both the two license files. It can read.
okay.
and it is domain specific, right? And it's not
Yeah,
either
that
UAT
host name
or
should be unique. That's mandatory. We need to meet.
yeah.
No, when we have multiple environments, for example, we have different domain names there. Like, for
No,
example,
no,
if it
same
is a
license server,
test
not
or
possible.
development,
Not possible. Not possible.
not possible. Okay.
It should be the same because even we have the multiple environments also. No need to maintain the different domains, right?
No, what happens is like if you have 100 licenses, there is some 10 servers which are in development and 10 servers in test, remaining 80 on production. So when the servers come up, will there be any segregation like, okay, the servers which are in test will pick this type of license, something like that? No, right?
No, not like nothing. For test
Actually,
and dev,
with the
anyhow,
test
you'll use, say, initially, whenever
same
you
domain.
install the product, the evaluation licenses are enough for that. For the production, we'll
And
go for the main license.
yes, sorry, sir.
No,
Yeah.
evaluation also, it will have some time limits as there,
Yeah,
right?
30 days
So,
is there.
okay, okay, thank you.
For the staging environment or maybe dev environment, we don't use much users, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That edition also we can keep on the same license server.
Okay, okay.
Okay?
Yeah,
Same
thank you.
one license server is enough. Unless we have like a very huge user base, more than 10,000, 20,000 user base we have, then we need to manage. But what is the requirement is like that for all the servers, that license server should be reached over the network.
Okay.
Okay, so different license servers are not a best practice. Okay, so then here we have one more local host cache. So one of the architecture wise beauty of the Citrix from the Zen app also is the local host cache. So what is the cache thing is if any of the site database is down, we don't have any impact. Okay, so we don't have any impact. Using the local host cache, applications can be we can connect. That means there is no business downtime. Even we have a site database is down. Okay, so even if the site database is down also, okay, say here we have business continuity is going to happen. So now try to understand with the different versions how the local host cache works. We'll discuss. So now here we have Zenap 6 and 6.5. Okay, so we have local host cache, very stable local host cache we have. Then in Zen desktop 5 and 5.6 we have. Okay, so we don't have localhost cache in that. We don't have any localhost cache in that. Okay, so then if we come to Zen desktop, or maybe we'll call those as virtual apps and desktops in 7.x, in the initial versions, we don't have localhost cache. Okay, so a lot of clients or customers are not happy with that Citrix decision, because localhost cache is one of the very powerful solution. Even without having the database also, those applications and desktops can be connected. Then Citrix has, instead of giving the localhost cache, initially they given one solution called as connection leasing. So as of now, in the newer versions, they have disabled this connection leasing. Okay, but instead of giving the localhost cache, in the early versions of the 7.x, Citrix has given one solution called as connection leasing. So whenever the user is successfully launched, that is going to store like a connection leasing record. It is going to store in the site database, and if the site in the local is going to store, users can launch it from this cache leased. Okay, so by default, like this cache is going to work for 2 weeks. If I have the user is connected, that user can connect to that even if the database is down also. Okay, but I'm a user, I connected 2 weeks before, then I can't connect if my if the user contacted before 2 weeks before, then it's not possible. Okay, so what is that is? A connection leasing, a small cache of the details or records are stored on the controllers. Okay, so for the 2 weeks that's going to be stored, and if the SQL site database is not available, then users can launch those sessions based on their cache leases. And how much time it is going to keep? For the 2 weeks. Okay, and I think around 2,000 user records are going to be stored in that. Okay, but people are not happy with this feature. Then Citrix again given, okay, so localhost cache itself. Okay, so they have again reintroduced the the local host cache feature itself. I think connection leasing is there in 7.6. Then in 7.12 version, local host cache has been released and in the later also. Okay, so then whenever we have the local host cache, like previously local host cache is a file kind of thing, but now they're going to maintain a secondary SQL Server database, that's a express version on each and every delivery controller. So that means previously it's a file level, but now they're going to maintain one secondary local like express database they're going to maintain. And if the main database goes down, okay, then the controllers are switching to localhost cache mode. Always the replications, all these are going to happen. Okay, so that means how that mechanisms also will discuss. Connection leasing, I think they started around 7.6, but now they have stopped that. Based on the previous connection leases, like for the last 2 weeks, what are the users are connected, those only is supported. Only cached users, the 2 weeks who are the users are cached, those only connected. Okay, but new connections are not possible. Old connections also not possible. And that scale up also only that 2000 user records is going to store. But as of now, that feature has been depreciated. Okay, so that's no one are happy. But before giving the localhost cache, Citrix has given a temporary kind of solution called as connection leasing. But now it's going to use like localhost cache. Okay, so localhost cache. What is the localhost cache? Is a high availability solution from the Citrix. Even we can broker the Citrix sessions. Even when the site database goes down also. Okay, so now here locally we are going to keep one. Say suppose here we have a controller. In the controller we have LHC database. Previously, it's a file, ima.lhc.mdb file is that, but now they are going to maintain one SQL Express database is going to be installed on top of our delivery controller we have. Then we have this site database also. So this is a distributed centralized site database we have. Okay, so this is the complete SQL, not Express edition recommended for productions. Okay, then like in the controller, we have one service called as like a high availability service. So this service is keep on monitoring the centralized site database is down. Then that is going to switch the traffic from the main database to this localhost cache database. Okay, in the normal operations, that means if the database is not down, then can you guess, like controller will contact which database?
Localhost cache.
Not down. Okay, so then site database or LHC database?
Database is not down.
Central
Site database.
SQL database itself. But in the backend, what is happening is we'll have one service called the configuration sync service. That configuration sync service is keep on updating the local, is keep on replicating the data from the central database to whatever the localhost cache DB on the every controller we have, and the time duration is for every 2 minutes. Okay, so 2 minutes. Okay, so it's going to be updating. So what is the service responsible for this on the controller is that configuration sync service. Okay, configuration sync service. Okay, what is this responsible? Is going to be like a update that for every 2 minutes, it's going to update. Okay, that means all the changes are up to date, it's going to be done. But when the SQL database is down, okay, then like broker service will try to contact the SQL database, then it's failed, like it's going to check for that timeout is for 90 seconds. Then if that is not available, then high availability service will comes into the picture, and that will instruct the broker service to switch to localhost cache mode. In that localhost cache mode, it is going to contact the local cache database. Okay, and in that localhost cache mode, users can connect to those new sessions. Okay, so then all the controllers also one controller will become the principal broker. All the broker requests should be handled by that principal broker. Okay, then once the site database is down, the principal DDC will recognize the main database is online, and automatically it switches back that local host. Okay, and all the updates also, what are the local transaction details also would be synced with this. Okay, so localhost cache works we may have four controllers. One controller is elected as the active broker. And what is the sync period? What is the sync period?
2
2
minutes.
minutes.
For every 2 minutes is and the outage is recognized by 90 seconds. Okay, so that means broker service will try to connect to site database for 90 seconds, and if that within the 90 seconds, if there is no response, then it's going to switching into LHC mode. Okay, so these we have diagrammatically also. So now here periodically synchronize that for every 2 minutes. Then finally, once that site database is up, the primary delivery controller resynchronize also the localhost cache with the centralized data. Yeah, I think 7.12 they have given this feature. 7.16 onwards, connection leasing has been removed. Okay, as of now we have only LHC itself. So now, here whenever the user is contacting, we have the principal broker service. Okay, so principal broker service is going to contact the site database, and here we have a synchronization service for every 2 minutes. It will be updating, and if the a broker service is down, okay, then what is going to happen is after 90 minutes, it's going to contact the high available service, and the high available service is switching from the site database to localhost cache database. The connection brokers are going to be switched. Then all those operations are going to be done. A Citrix broker service on the controller accept the connections, and the broker communicate with the site database. Okay, then here the Citrix's configuration service, I think this would be the 2 minutes. Okay, if those changes have been performed, okay, those would be is going to be updated. If the configuration change occurs, then it's going to synchronize that copy. Okay, if not done, here in this scenario, what happen is this is not able to contact the site database. Okay, then automatically broker service is switching to high availability service, and localhost cache is going to work. Whenever the outage happens, the broker start listening and processing the request. Okay, so then like it's going to communicate within the 90 minutes is going to be done. Okay, so then if any outage happens, mostly we don't have any impact to the connected users and connecting users, but admins can't connect to Studio, which is the management console, or we not run PowerShell commands also. We can't run the PowerShell commands. Means business-wise, there is no limit, but from the Studio-wise, we can't manage the PowerShell commandlets. Okay, so then like a new assignments kind of things we can't do. New assigned missions can't be assigned. Okay, but to the existing connections, there is no problem. Okay, then if you have any outage of the database is there, and this weekend we have any of the periodic reboots of that, okay, don't restart your VDS. Okay, that means till that SQL, say mostly in the real time, this SQL database outage may be maximum of 1 or 2 days. And in that time, if you have any scheduled like restarts, maintenance kind of activities, but all of a sudden we got a database, what Citrix is recommending is don't restart your controllers at that moment. Wait for like our SQL server is restored. At that moment itself is better to restart. Okay, and what we need to make sure is like we need very good RAM storage options also. Minimum 1.2 GB of the RAM should be available for that, for the database cache, and to run that SQL Express on the local DB. So we need to maintain minimum that free of RAM we need to make sure. Okay, so then like depends upon the how many number of users we have also, that RAM size we need to increase. So where this is going to be stored is on the controller itself. Okay, so then even we need to make sure the minimum 4 cores or CPU sockets, all those also we need to set up. And VDA wise, like we can maintain 10,000 VDAs can be handled. That's a huge infrastructure, because concurrently 10,000 VDAs to, like if it is a multi-zone deployment, we can manage even 40,000 VDAs also. Okay, so these all that, but whereas connection leasing can support only 2,000 is supported. Okay, so these all like we need to able to explain architecture wise. Okay, so what are the things we need to remember is configuration sync service is responsible to like synchronize whatever the changes have been performed on the site database to localhost cache database. Okay, then here we have HAS, high availability service is responsible. If the broker service is not able to contact the site database for 90 seconds, is going to switch that from the site, from that to like to the localhost cache database, it is going to switch it. And once the restore is happening, again the data is going to be localhost cache data is going to be replicated to site database also. Okay, so then if you have the 4 controllers, zone level, there would be only one primary kind of controller would be there. That is going to be that database itself is going to be contacted by all the DDCs. Okay, and like there is one election process. In that, out of 4 controllers, 1 controller localhost cache is the primary one. That election process also is going to happen. Okay, so then, so here in the Citrix, we can have the different type of by default we have the administrators. Okay, say when you join in the company also, mostly we are going to manage these all from the studio wise, and the first administrator is getting the full admin permissions, but we are delegating. Say suppose I assume in our company we have around 40 Citrix guys are there. For everyone, we don't give the full administration kind of permissions. Okay, so we can give these kind of administrative rights. Say for L1 kind of people, we may give a read-only kind of thing or help desk administration permissions we can give. And mission catalog level, delivery group administrators. And if we have any VMware or those kind of admins we have, for them we are going to give the host administration permissions we are giving. Okay, so that means don't expect in the job you will get the complete full administrative rights. We'll have the very limited people with that kind of rights we have. So we are going to maintain the read-only administrator, help desk administrator, mission catalog administrator, delivery group administrator, and host administrator. Say mostly say suppose mission catalog level, all that like we can create those MCS catalogs, PVS catalogs, all that using mission catalog. But I have sales team. I have given 200 desktops to my sales guy. Only for the sales, I have one help desk admin. For them, I'm going to give at the delivery group level. Okay, so that means he's only managed that sales guy is only. Finance team, I have another team. For them, I'll give those administrators as those level I'm going to give the permissions. So now here, can you tell me what are the different type of admin permissions we can give? What are the types of admin permissions we can give?
Full
Yeah,
administrator,
full
read only administrator.
administrator, otherwise read only, or we can do the help desk, then mission catalog level, then delivery group administrator, then host administrator. Okay, so mostly even custom scopes also is there, but these are the inbuilt, like what are the different type of administrator accounts we can create or delegate the administration. Okay, and we have 100, sorry, in our use case we discussed 40 admins we have in our Citrix environment. All their administrative changes are going to store in all the administrative changes are going to store in. Okay, say whatever the changes we have performed in the uh, administrative changes, configuration, logging, database. Those are not going to store. Say suppose what is the purpose of that configuration logging database is? Say I have published a new application, or I have added a new user for the delegation, or I have deleted an application. I created a Citrix policy, or I added a new server to the site. So these are all the administrative changes. Who perform the change? At what time they perform the change? Whether the change is success or failure. All these details are going to stored in the configuration logging database. So what is the advantage of that is, say we need to have a auditing, we need to have a control over our administrative changes at our enterprise level. We are going to maintain through the configuration logging. Okay, but these details, say suppose here we have for the monitoring we'll have one database. For the site configuration details we'll have the main site database, and configuration logging database is another database we have. Okay, so by default if the configuration logging database is down, there is no impact to the business. Okay, say if someone deleted an application, so my management asks who deleted that, we can track it from the configuration logging database, we can get that. Okay. Sure. Any doubts on this part?
Yes,
Monitoring database is used for director kind of role,
Yeah.
right?
For monitoring, we'll have the director. We'll have three databases we have.
Site database, configuration database, and the monitoring database.
Monitoring, yeah. So here we are going to all the configuration details we have are going to stored in the site database we have. Okay, so then monitoring database, all the director is going to store the details. Then configuration logging database, like all the administrative changes, who made the change, at what time, when it was changed, all these are going to be stored. Okay.
And if my site database is down, my
Site
VDS will not.
database is down, there is no impact to the users.
VDA registration still will be active, or
Yes,
all the
otherwise,
VMs will be.
otherwise those can't be delivered, right? Because that site database is down, LHC is take care.
Okay.
But if we have one configuration setting, if the configuration logging database is down, admins we can stop not to perform any configuration changes. But user wise, there is no impact.
Okay, super. Thank you.
Okay, then even if the monitoring database is down also, no impact on the users, but their monitoring details we are storing. We are missing those reports. Say in the Citrix wise, even for the database also, we are going to maintain for the production, like maybe we have 2000 users, 3000 users, SQL server cluster we are going to choose in that environment also. We are going to choose the SQL server clustering we are choosing. Okay, that means even if the primary database is down, like to the secondary SQL server database, it automatically, this is not from the Citrix solution, this is SQL server solution we have. Even we have the localhost cache, but better to go for a SQL server cluster in the large scale environments. Okay. So that is also one of the best practice.
After this, once we are in cloud, all this will be taken care by the Citrix cloud vendor, right?
If it is DAS-based services, Citrix will take care. The DAS will take care.
Yeah.
But not for the production environments, they don't go for DAS. If it is Azure AVD, complete Azure will take care all this. Okay?
Yes, understood.
Yeah, we can create our own scopes also, different type of not inbuilt roles. We can create our own roles and permissions also we can give. Okay, and what is ICA, or we can call as the ICA, which is a proprietary and patent protocol from the Citrix using the presentation layer in the ISO layer. Citrix belongs to presentation layer and is going to send the details. Okay, so now here we have ICA virtual channels. Before explaining the policies, I will explain. Meanwhile, if you have the time, try to explore ICA versus RDP. Microsoft protocol is RDP and Citrix protocol is ICA. Okay, so here ICA versus RDP is nothing but we are comparing between Citrix versus Microsoft, and which is very powerful. Obviously, ICA is the most powerful. Okay, so then we have the workspace app. Okay, on the client side, we required workspace app is nothing but ICA client. ICA client. Okay, so now here we have the different names for those, like technically, whatever the name we have is the ICA client itself. Okay, so now like in the previous versions, like it's called as a PN agent. So in the very long back, it's called as PN agent. PN agent means nothing but program neighborhood agent. Program neighborhood agent. That means those programs are running neighborhood, means on the servers, presentation server like that. From that we used to connect to them. Now we are not calling as a PN agent. Now in the Zenap 6, they call that as online agent. Citrix online agent. But from 6.5, it's called as Citrix receiver. Citrix receiver it's called. Now it's called as workspace app. Now this is nothing but ICA, and using the ICA, it is going to contact the presentation server, Zenap server, or like Citrix virtual app and controllers is going to contact. That's directly from the VDA. Now the connection is going to be established. Now, like we have the different type of drivers we have, like audio, COM ports, communication ports, disk, graphics, LPT printer ports, printers, smart cards, all are getting connected. So now here, assume this is our client device and this is the VDA or maybe Zenap server. All are interconnected. Okay, so now like here we have the here this application is running. Okay, so from the like a printer is connected locally, but application is running on the remote server. I can give the prints. I can audio. I can stream. My voice, microphone. I can communicate. USB, train devices, printers, scanners, communication ports, LPT ports, hard disk, floppy, CD-ROM, clipboard operations like read, write operations. For everything, like one virtual channel has been provided by Citrix. And I don't want to give the printers connection. I don't want to give the graphics. I don't want to give the audio. I don't want to give the LPT ports. I don't want to give USB ports. Then those all we can control through. Those all we can control through the policies we can control. Those all we can control through the policies. Those we'll discuss on the Citrix policies. But by default, Citrix virtual channels will help us how we are going to communicate with the client to that server. That is the reason without having any of the ICA client, with the browser only, it's not possible to connect to that applications or desktops. Okay, so even we'll discuss these virtual channels also. Like that virtual channels are nothing but the driver kind of code, and is going to establish the connection to the server. Each virtual driver provides a specific function, but if we don't want that feature to some set of users, we can control it through the policies we can control. Through the policies, we can control that. Okay. Yeah, any doubts on this?
No, sir.